גם אחרי שהלכתי לך זה לא שינה, ומיד כשחזרתי הייתה לך הרגשה שאני עוד אוהב אותך, שאני כבר שלך, ואהבת ושמחת וחשבת שרציתי להיות שם תמיד בשבילך, כי ידעתי שככה זה טוב, שלשניים יהיה יותר פשוט לאהוב, כל הדרך אני לצידך. גם אני עוד שומע וגם אני לא יודע איך עושים את זה, איך שזה לא קל לאהוב ללא תנאי. והופתענו כשבא השינוי הגדול, והבטחנו תמיד לדבר, וראינו אחרי שבועות וימים שלא קל לעמוד מול הרגל. גם אני עוד שומע וגם אני לא יודע איך עושים את זה, איך שזה לא קל לאהוב ללא תנאי. שזה לא קל לאהוב.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. We'll start in 1 more minute. I forgot to share on Facebook. I have 1 more minute. That's what says my phone. Oh.
Whatever. I'm just going to try and be myself.
I don't know. We are online. Here we are, Zach. We'll share. Done. And I will separate from our phones. So this I will separate from mine. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. It's good to see you. We will start our Kabbalat Shabbat on page 636. Says the Midrash that Shabbat approached God and complained because there was no day created to partner with Shabbat. Shabbat said to God, Sunday has Monday, and Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday has Friday, and I am on my own. And so God said to Shabbat, the people of Israel will be your soulmate, your Yedid Nefesh. So every time that we welcome Shabbat, we experience the excitement of encountering a beloved person, a beloved presence. Up the world with your presence. We my soul and rejoice in you. Harry, loved one, the appointed time has come. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. What a nice thing is to welcome Shabbat together as community. This Shabbat of Parashat Ki Tisa. A very important Shabbat. A Shabbat of brokenness and continuity. A Shabbat in which we try to think about how to use our resources and try to find focus. We would like to invite you to find your Shabbos candles, to prepare a cup of wine, so we make sure that we all together create a sanctuary. And if you don't have candles or a cup of wine, we will be lighting candles with you and sharing the light of our candles as we welcome Shabbat together. I would like to invite Luis and Les Sassman to lead us in the candle lighting. We need to, here you go. Here.
Okay. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you for bringing the light of Shabbos to our community. And we will now continue our Shabbat service on page 130 with Lehu Neranena. מלאכת אל הארץ ישמחו הים רבים אור שרו על הצדיק ולי ישרי לב שמחה מזמור שירו לאדוני שיר חדש כי נפלאות עשה.
Where has this week vanished? Is it lost forever? Will I ever recover anything from it? The joy of life, the unexpected victory, the realized hope, the task accomplished? Will I ever be able to banish the memory of pain, the sting of defeat, the heaviness of boredom? On this day, let me keep for a while what must drift away. On this day, let me be free of the burdens that must return. On this day, Shabbat, abide. Help me to withdraw for a while from the flight of time. Contain the retreat of the hours and days from the grasp of frantic life. Let me learn to pause, if only for this day. Let me find peace on this day. Let me enter into a quiet world this day. On this day, Shabbat, abide.
We're on page 134. We turn our Sidurim to page 136, מזמור לדוד. מזמור לדוד, אבו לאדוני בנהלים, אבו לאדוני כבוד בעוז, אבו לאדוני כבוד שמו ישתחוו לאדוני בהדרת קודש.
אומר כל
ישב, וישב אדוני, מלך לעולם. אדוני עוז לעמו ייתן, אדוני יברך את עמו בשלום. And with this sense of recognition, of love, of gathering, we come to the encounter of the bride, of the queen, of the holiness of this day. We're on page 138, Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala.
שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד השמיענו אל המיוחד אדוני אחד ושמו אחד לשם לתפארת ולתהילה לך דודי לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה לקראת שבת לכו ונרחקים מקור הברכה מראש מקדם נסוך סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה לך דודי לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה התעוררי התעוררי כי באורך קומי אורי 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 שיר דברי כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה לך דודי לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה
איי 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 לך דודי איי 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 לקראת כלה איי בני שבת בני שבת בני שבת נקבלה לא תבושי לא תבושי ולא תקלמי מה תשתוכחי ומה תהמי מה יחסו אני הימי בני בנתה עיר התפילה איי 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 לך דודי איי 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 לקראת כלה איי בני שבת בני שבת בני שבת נקווה היו לשיסה שעושייך ורחקו כל מבלעייך יסיס עלייך אלוהייך ימסוס חתן הקהלה איי 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 לך דודי איי 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 לקראת כלה איי בני שבת בני שבת ימין ושמאל תפרוצי בית אדוני תעריצי על ידי איש והם פרצי Shabbat. We rise in our spirits. Some, if you can, your legs, and we turn to the gates of the rooms where we are. As we close our eyes and open our hearts to allow the presence of the Queen, of the Bride, the holiness of this day to become the reality that we want to experience. בואי ושלום, עטרת בלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי הלאה, איי 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 איי, לך דודי, איי 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 איי, לקראת כלה, איי איי בני שבת, בני שבת, בני שבת נקבלה. Shabbat is among us. Now it is on us to transform this night of Friday into a night of Shabbat, to open our hearts, maybe to open our hearts and to close our phones in order to experience the beauty of this day. And I invite you, while not closing your phones, to say good Shabbos to each other, to write in the comments on Zoom, Facebook, and YouTube, Shabbat Shalom, to acknowledge each other's presence. I see all the beautiful faces emerging here in Zoom, and it's nice to see all of you. Such a great joy. And of course, those that we can't see their faces that are connecting with us through YouTube and Facebook, we also acknowledge your presence. And while during the service, Gabriel and I cannot see your comments, we do that after the service. So if you write us comments or messages, we most of the time, sometimes it takes a few minutes until all the comments upload, but we see them, and we are really appreciative of your presence. So it is our community. So once we have said Shabbat Shalom to each other, we will turn our Sidurim to page 140, Mizmor Shir LeYom HaShabbat. One more psalm to welcome Shabbat. We'll turn now our Sidurim to page 146 as we start Filat Arabit, the evening prayer, and we look around and we recognize our minyan and the diversity of our minyan that is testimony, is proof of also of the unity of God. Baruchu et Adonai המבורך. ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses, according to plan. ומביא יום ומביא לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו, אל חי וקיים, תלמידים לוך עלינו לעולם ועד, ברוך אתה אדוני, המעריב הרבים. Everlasting love, you have offered to your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai, our God, when we lay down and we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. As we get closer to the Shema, we take a moment to think about those things that make us feel loved, feel embraced, feel contained, sustained, supported. I invite you to close your eyes for a moment and to try to visualize what symbolizes a source of unconditional love in your life. Maybe a person, a memory. It might be a landscape, a place. Allow that love surround you and contain you. Become aware of your breath. And as you breathe in, as you inhale, bring in the light, the air that you need in order to connect with your soul as you enter this Shabbos. And as you exhale, try to recognize things that you don't need to carry, that don't belong in the oneness of your being. The moment of the Shema is at the same time a communal moment, but also a moment for our own soul. As you exhale, let go of the things that don't belong within your system. Once again, take a deep breath. And become one. מאהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים, ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו אדוני אחד.
Please join me as we continue on page 154 with Ve'ahavta. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם, אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אמת.
אדוני אלוהיכם אמת, אמת באמונה, כל זאת וקיים עלינו, כי הוא אדוני אלוהינו, ואין זולתו, ואנחנו ישראל עמו. הפודנו מיד מלאכים מלכנו, אלוהינו מקו כל העריצים, מוזיק גדול. Perform miracles for us before Pharaoh, signs and wonders in the land of the Egyptians. You led your people Israel out from their midst to freedom for all time. When your children witnessed your presence, they praised your name in gratitude, and they accepted your sovereignty. Moshe, Miriam, and all Israel sang to you together, lifting their voices with joy. Who is like you, O God, mi chamocha, Ba'elim Adonai. We're on page 158.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורא נערת הילות, הוסק פלם, מלכותך ראו בניך, לפני משה ומרים, זה לי ענו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד.
As it is said, when I redeemed Jacob from a hand stronger than his son. Praise are you, Adonai, for redeeming Israel. Baruch atah Adonai Ohel Israel. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, ויעמידנו שומרנו לחיים, ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך, ותקננו בעצה טובה מלפניך. Grant, O God, that we lay down in peace and raise us up, our guardian, to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. For you, God, watch over us and deliver us. For you, God, are gracious and merciful. Guard our ongoing and coming to life and to peace evermore. Baruch atah Adonai, הפורס סוכת שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל, בעל ירושלים. So the words that we recite before Tfilat Amidah on Friday night, Shambru Bnei Israel, they come from this very Torah portion. The reminder of God telling us you need to keep focus even when you are really, really busy. Even when things seem to be overwhelming to you, remember that there is a Shabbat and try to focus your mind and create a space for your heart and soul. We're on page 162. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם, לדורותם ברית עולם. בני ובן בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. בני ובן בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת, שבת בנפש. בני ובן בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. בני ובן בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם, לדורותם ברית עולם. We will now turn our Siduri into page 164 as we enter Tfilat Amidah של יום שבת of Shabbos, and whether you follow the words of our Sidur or you take a moment for personal meditation, we invite you to find your Tfilah Shebalev, the prayer of your heart, to find a moment of silence. Even if you are sitting at home with your partner, with your dog, try to find your way into prayer. Adonai, Sefatai. We are at the bottom of page 180. Yul ratzon imrei fi be'egion livi lefanecha Adonai tzuri begoali. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, Adonai, my rock and my redeemer. Oseh shalom bimromav, Oseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Israel, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel bimro amen. May the one who makes peace in the high heavens make peace for us, for all Israel, and for all who inhabit this, our earth. And let us say, Amen. We extend our Tfilat Amidah. We add one more prayer. We think of those that are in need of healing. We think of first responders. We think of those that are making sure that our society keeps functioning. And we think of those dealing with illness in their bodies, those dealing with illness in their souls. And so those dealing with addictions. Now together as community, turn our Siddurim to page 371 for Mi Sheberach. Wish to all of them רפואה שלמה והחלמה מהירה. Complete and a fast recovery. And let us say once again, Amen.
Amen.
Can you hear me well? Okay. I have almost, I think that there haven't been a Dvar Torah in which I haven't spoken about the fact that I am dealing with some sound stuff here that seems to be impossible, but we are starting to get along. So I am starting to understand a bit better how to use it and what to do with this. And so I know, for example, that there's a button that we need when I'm singing that I actually don't need to use when I'm speaking. So here we are. So I never get this right, Zach. I never get this right. Like, you want me, so I can move the microphone also. What about this? Little better or sounds good? Okay, good. So let's talk about this Torah portion. Parashat what? Ki Tisa. And And thinking about this Torah portion, I always try to think a title for the topic we will discuss. And this is such a rich Torah portion. There's so many topics to address. And I was sure I was going to talk about brokenness, which is one of the central topics in this Torah portion. And all of a sudden, reading it, I don't know, for the 20th time this week, something came to my mind. I thought we need to talk about this. So I call it anger management and beyond. And so here's what I was thinking about. When I was a child, there was a series of short clips on TV to teach appropriate behavior. The repetitive methodology was quite simple. They would show a child waving a fork or trying to drink in the wrong manner, and then they would say something like, "That's not so nice." And then an older woman standing straight with her hair neatly tied would explain how the activity should be performed. And then they would show the same child performing now the activity correctly, and then images of the joy that would come as an outcome of taking the fork correctly or drinking correctly. Now, the idea behind this TV series was very clear, portraying a mistaken situation, explaining how to do it right, and then showcasing the correct action. Educators among us might argue that this might not be the best learning methodology. We want positive reinforcement. But nonetheless, this methodology recognizes that images and stories are very helpful in the learning process. Parashat Ki Tisa is exactly that. It is a concrete example or a case study for the Torah reader in order to learn how to manage anger and how to exercise teshuvah. And you might wonder, how is that possible? The main stories of this Torah portion are the golden calf and the breaking of the tablets. So how is that possible that the main topic is teshuvah? Then let me share with you a secret. Some of the most recognized vocabulary of the Day of Atonement emerges from this very Torah portion. So this Torah portion is a set of scenes and is presented quite in a dramatic way. I want to share with you the scenes. Scene number 1. Each individual above the age of 20 years old is required to bring half a shekel as a contribution, as a truma. This money is called kesef, the money, a kippurim, like Yom Kippur, and will be used for the service of the tent of meeting. Scene number 2. At the same time, Moses is in Mount Sinai writing the Torah. He's taking notes about how to engage in the work of building the ark, where later the tablets will be set as a part of the irony of this whole situation. He's talking about building the ark for the tablets that he's going to soon break. Scene number 3. Down the mountain, the people of Israel are getting nervous. Moses has been at the top of Mount Sinai for a long time, and their anxiety is getting out of control. they require a solution from Aaron. Aaron directs them to take their goods of gold and to build a golden calf, Egel HaSa'af. Scene number 4. Back to the top of the mountain. God tells Moses, and this is when it starts to get very interesting. God tells Moses, you need to hurry up and walk down the mountain because Shichat Amecha, says God to Moses, your people is getting corrupted. Like your children, your husband, your sister, your people. And then God says to Moses, let my anger blaze forth against them, and we will start it over. Let me destroy them, and I will make you a great nation, a different one. But Moses implored to God, don't let your anger manage this situation. Almost literally, he says that. And the rabbis in the Midrash say that Moses argued with God saying, why are you so angry? They are trying to help. They made you an assistant, referring to the golden calf. Why don't you let this assistant help you a little bit? To which God answered, Moshe, you are wrong exactly as they are wrong. This thing is a nothing, is klum, nothing, zero. And so Moses said, well, if this is nothing, why should your anger burn against your people? Furthermore, the rabbis explain that after challenging God's reaction, Moses tries to de-escalate by providing some perspective to the situation, saying, Master of the universe, you could have chosen to send them anywhere you wanted in the entire world to be slaves, but you actually sent them to Egypt. Everybody worship lambs in the land of Egypt. So what do you want from them? That's where they're coming from. Remember, you put them there. And so the story goes on. Scene number 5. Moses descends with the tablets, and as he makes his way to the camp, he starts hearing the voices of joy, celebrating around this golden calf that he hasn't seen yet, but knows of its existence. He makes it to the camp, and now he sees the Israelites worshiping the golden calf. The tablets fall, drop, slide, are thrown. Silence. Moshe approaches his brother Aaron and tries to understand how they got to this place. He turns to the people and rebukes their actions. A new day begins. Moshe tells the people, you have made a terrible mistake. You truly missed the mark. But now you can elevate yourself. This is literal. You can elevate yourself. That's what he says. And perhaps, he says, ulai, perhaps, ask for forgiveness. He's inviting, he's guiding, he's shaping. And now Moshe turns to God and says, if you don't forgive them, erase me from this book. I don't want to be a partner in this situation. The rabbis say that the famous verse from the book of Numbers that we chant after Kol Nidrei is God's answer to Moses' request in the book of Exodus. Vayomer Adonai salachti kidvarecha. I have forgiven as you require from me. There's another midrash that even says that God made a vow of anger. And so the first case in the story of the Jewish people of canceling a vow is actually Moses requiring from God to cancel that vow of anger, and to rectify. Number 6. Now, it is the time to make a new set of tablets. Moses carves a new set and goes up to the mountain. And so the cloud descends, and God says the very famous 13 attributes that we also know from the days of atonement. Adonai, Adonai, El Rachum, Bechanum, El Chapayim, Berav Chesed Be'emet, Notzer Chesed La'alafim, Noseh Avon V'Fesha, V'Chata V'Nakeh. Adonai, Adonai, our God, a compassionate and gracious God, slow to anger, abounding in kindness and faithfulness, extending kindness to the 1,000th generation, forgiving iniquity with a little bit of pressure, transgression and sin. How interesting is that this description of God doesn't match what we witness throughout the description of the events in this Torah portion. Maybe because the Torah portion is trying to show how to deal with a situation that goes completely wrong. Like the child holding the fork wrongly. In the most ironic and ridiculous situation, God will act from the beginning as the one who is hurt and angry, willing to react. And Moses will act as the one who will take a deep breath, will try to de-escalate, will try to offer perspective, will ask the parties to offer peace. And so, once again, we'll bring God to the place of asking him or her for rectification, for canceling this commitment to destroy, this vow to destroy the Jewish people, but also will bring the Jewish people to ask for forgiveness with loving guidance. And so there is repentance, forgiveness, and there is growth. There is no place for growth when we stop talking to each other, when we estrange each other, when we erase each other's presence. And so, through the entire situation, like the teacher of good manners in the TV series, Moshe showcases the right behavior. And now the last question is, why Moses? Why is Moses the one showcasing the right behavior? And the answer is very simple. We tend to find justifications to our anger and sometimes very impulsive reactions. We are just human, we tell to ourselves. We are just human, and therefore, that's how we act, that's how we react. And what Torah is ultimately trying to showcase is that it is a human-like thing to experience stress and anxiety, and to misuse our resources, and even to be angry, very angry. But it is also human-like to find perspective, to ask for forgiveness. And even more importantly, to forgive, to offer forgiveness. One more midrash. At some point, says the midrash, that God looks at Moshe and says, like aren't you angry? And Moshe says, well, you are the one who is angry right now. Therefore, my role is to balance your anger and to offer peace, to offer perspective. And maybe the ultimate message of this Torah portion is that when we experience very strong emotions, or when we think that our impulses can lead us, it's a moment to take a step back and to find balance, because from that balance, growth can emerge. Shabbat Shalom. We'll continue our service on page 586. בהשבותה אל לבביך כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בהשבותה אל לבביך כי אדוני הוא האלוהים ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. We'll now take a moment to acknowledge mourners among our community. We think of those during the first 7 days of mourning, Shiva, and so of those during the first 30 days, Shloshim, and during the cycle of the first year of mourning, and so of those that have a yortzeit this week. We invite you to share the names of your beloved ones in the comment sections on Facebook, YouTube, and of course here in Zoom. As we turn our Sidurim to page 598 for Kaddish Avelim, Mourner's Kaddish. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי הרבה, בעלמה דברה חילותה וימליך מלכותה, בחייכון ובימכון ובחיי לכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב, באמרו אמן. יהא שמי רבה מבורך לעולם עולמי עלמיה. יתברך, בשתבח, בתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי קודשה ברכו. לילה מן כל ברכתה בשירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, תמירם בעלמה, באמרו אמן. יש למה רבה מן שמיה, בחיים טובים עלינו ועל כל ישראל באמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל באמרו אמן. May the memories of your beloved ones be always a blessing. יהיה זכרם ברוך, זכרם לברכה. You may be seated. So I want to thank once again all those that were involved in the organization of the celebrations for Purim. We had a congregational blast. So I want to recognize our volunteers that work very hard to make it happen. And of course, our staff that work very diligently to assure that our celebration came to be. I want to share that the Passover, the Pesach Co-op is already gathering, but if you want to join and participate in the planning of Passover, you still can do it. Please contact Rachel, let her know that you want to participate. Let me share one word about the co-op. Every time that we approach a holiday, we gather with a group of people to try to plan together how we are going to work with the different segments, with the different groups in our community. Sometimes by doing activities that bring all of us together, and sometimes by creating different experiences and different opportunities for different groups. And for example, when we plan Hanukkah, it was the co-op. So we had 8 nights of light, and that means that we also have many volunteers working behind the scenes. I can see some of them sitting here, and also our staff working in order to make sure that everybody were able to participate, and we are doing the same for Pesach. I can tell you 2 things that you might want to know that are coming up for Pesach. Don't tell anyone. So, well, tell everybody, actually. So the first one, of course, we will do our second night Seder, as we traditionally do. I will tell you a secret. One of the ideas that prompted the co-op was, Judy, you are sitting there. Judy last year came and said to me, we have to do the second night Seder. And I was like, you really mean, like, you're serious? Like, we just were starting with the pandemic. We had no idea how to use Zoom, right? Like, we were just getting into this deal, and a group of congregants say, we really want to do it. And I remember asking, like, will you help me? Like, I don't even know how to put these things together. And we had a courageous group of volunteers that helped us out, and we had a phenomenal second night Seder last year, even when it was virtual, with many congregants joining us, and I think we really enjoyed it. So don't expect less than that this year. So, number one. Number two, it is tradition already, Judy. Now it's with us. But the other thing that we will do, we have lots of matzah to share with our congregation, and we will share that matzah probably on March 24th. Is March 24th a Wednesday? Check on me, because I sometimes mistake days and don't have them written in front of me.
Yes.
It is. So I got it right. On March 24th, but at the same time that we are sharing that matzah, we will have a find the Afikoman around the city. So everybody, of course, the children will be invited to participate, but also adults will be invited to participate and to find the Afikoman with us before Passover. So many exciting things and very creative things are coming up. I really encourage you to be tuned. And with all that said, we will start to conclude our service. I would like to invite once again the Sassmans. We will do a Kiddush together. An interesting thing is that in the Kiddush on Friday night, we have something that is the Kiddush, the blessing over the one, and also a blessing for the day, because we start a special day. So the Sassmans will help me with the blessing for the one, and I will do the blessing for the day. We will do it together, and you can find it on page 124. I am almost there. 22.
Not 24, 22.
Here we are. So, Les and Lois, are you ready? I start, and then it goes to you. I start. בערב בבוקר יום השישי, ויחול השמיים בארץ וכל צבאם, ויכל אלוהים ביום השביעי מלאכתו אשר עשה, וישפוט ביום השביעי מכל מלאכתו אשר עשה, ויברך אלוהים את יום השביעי, ויקדש אותו כי הוא שבת מכל מלאכתו, אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות.
Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pri hagafen.
חיים, ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר קידשנו במצוותיו ברצה בנו, בשבת קודשו, באהבה וברצון הנחילנו, זיכרון למעשה בראשית, כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש, שכל יציאת מצרים, כי בנו בחרת, ואותנו קידשת, עם כל העמים בשבת קודשך, באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת לחיים. תודה, תודה, thank you, Sassmans. Thank you. Good Shabbos, everyone. We'll take one more moment to make sure that good. I just want to make sure that I check the lineup, otherwise I might. Did you see? Now I noticed Gabriel's face, but it was like, wow. Well, otherwise I might surprise you. Like, so I didn't remember but we have some traditional ways and sometimes some surprising ways.
Well, if it were a surprise, then
We will be traditional today. Traditional. We take a moment to acknowledge love in our lives. The love that we build and the love that build us. We understand that for generations, Shabbat has been understood as a symbol of love. Love with our families, love that comes from our parents, our grandparents, and that we share with our children. As we say to our boys, Yasimchem, Elohim, Kefraim, Bekemenashe. May God inspire you to be like the fathers of Israel. And to our girls, we say, Yasimech, Yasimchen, Elohim, Kesara, Rivka, Rachel, Belea. May God inspire you to be like the mothers of Israel, and to all of them, and to all of you. We say, Yevarechechem, Adonai, Beish Merechem, may God bless you and protect you. Yair Adonai, Panav Elechem, Bichunechem. May God light shine upon you, and may God be gracious to you. Yisa Adonai, Panav Elechem, Be'asim Lachem, Shalom. May God's presence be within you always. And may God bless you with perspective. May God bless you with a deep breath in moments of impulsiveness. May God bless you with wholeness, with shalom, with peace. Adonai os le'amo iten, Adonai yevarech et amo v'shalom. Shabbat shalom, everyone. Good Shabbos, Shabbat Shalom, everyone. It's great to share Shabbat with you. You can wave to each other, even if you are in Facebook and we don't see you. It's so nice, so nice to see motion and to realize that we are alive and that we are connected to each other and that we are responsive. Good Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Good Shabbos. Good Shabbos. Good Shabbos.